Good morning, students. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And this YouTube channel is especially for the study of English subject. Myself, Khilesh Kumar, Assistant Professor in English. So, in today's session, we are going to study about a very remarkable poem in Memoriam. The poem in Memoriam was composed by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson, a brief introduction to the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson was born in 1809 and died in 1892. He was one of the most popular British poets, and he was the poet laureate during much of Queen Victoria's reign. So this is a very fantastic achievement in the life of Alfred Lord Tennyson, that he was awarded poet laureate during much of Queen Victoria's reign. So in the reign of Queen Victoria, he was awarded poet laureate. If we talk about some major creations of Tennyson, such as Break, 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 Ulysses, In Memoriam, the poem which we are going through, Tears, Idle Tears, Crossing the Bar. Crossing the Bar, in the last video we have studied about the crossing the bar. So these are some major creations and major works composed by Alfred Lord Tennyson. And you know that Alfred Lord Tennyson was the eminent and popular poet of his time. So that's why Victorian age is also known as the age of Tennyson. Next, In Memoriam. In Memoriam, in the memory of. So the poem is in form of an elegy. In the memory of poet's friend, Arthur Henry Hallam. So the poem Memoriam was composed by Alfred Lord Tennyson in 1850. When did the poet compose this poem? In 1850. After the sudden death of his friend Arthur Henry Hallam. So when his close friend Arthur Henry Hallam died, Tennyson wrote this poem in the memory of his friends. So the poem was written in the memory of his friend Arthur Hallam, who died at a young age. It connects despair, and the poet grieves over the loss of his friend Arthur Henry Hallam. So this is a song, this is a poem, this is a tribute which was written on the loss of his friend author Henry Hallam. So the poem is a dedication to author Henry Hallam. The poet believes that death only ends the physical body of his friend author Henry Hallam, but not his soul. So, in the poem, the poet mentions about the immortality of soul, immortality of the soul of a man. The poet believes that death can only end the physical body of a person. And here he mentions about his friend, author Henry Hallam. So the poet mentions that the death can destroy only the physique of his friend, author Henry Hallam, but not his soul. So through these lines, the poet wants to give a message to the readers that death can only destroy our physique. Death can destroy our physical body. Our soul can't be destroyed by the death. So, our soul is immortal. Next. Author Henry Hallam was a devoted friend to Tennyson and a great supporter of his works. So author Henry Hallam was not only a devoted friend of Tennyson, but also a great supporter of his works, of his creations, of his writings. So in this way we can grab that author Henry Hallam was very close to Tennyson. So the poem is a tribute to poet's beloved friend, author Henry Hallam. So this poem is a tribute to poet's beloved friend, author Henry Hallam. In the poem, the poet expresses the deep personal experience of his friendship. So through this poem, the poet mentions about his experience with his friend author Henry Hallam, and he mentions also personal experience regarding his past days, in which he spent a lot of time with his friend author Henry Hallam. Next, the poet mentions that man cannot understand. Man here refers to the man race, the mankind, all human beings. Man can not understand why he was created, but he must believe that he was not made simply to live. So the poet wants to give a very deep philosophical message to us that we all are living in this world, but we are unable to understand that why we are living in this world, or why we have been created by someone. Because the poet and we all human beings can believe, or we can say must believe, that we are not here simply to live. It means we are here in this world for a very special purpose, for a very special motto, and for a very special objective. We are not here simply to live. But after the death of author Henry Hallam, who was also the fiancé of his sister, so author Henry Hallam was a fiancé of his sister, close friend, nearest and dearest. So obviously Tennyson got shocked because of his death, and this poem is a tribute to author Henry Hallam. Tennyson was overwhelmed with doubts about the meaning of life, and the significance of man's existence. So now there is a question mark in the mind of poet. The poet has a question mark in his mind about the meaning of life. We all are living. So what is the meaning of our life and the existence, the significance of man's existence? So these are some questions put in the mind of poet about the meaning of life and about the existence of man. Next, the poem is the expression of sorrow and grief. Yeah, naturally the poem is about a person who is now dead. So, and the poet is shedding tears and mourning and feeling sad in his heart. So that's why it's a natural thing that the poem is the expression of sorrow and grief. We see the poet's recollection of a happy past spent with the individual. Individual here refers to poet's friend, author Henry Hallam. The poet, the poet is now mourning. So in the poem, the poet remembers his past and sweet memory spent with his friend, author Henry Hallam, and he feels sad because those sweet moments can't be repeated again. In Memoriam ends. So in Memoriam ends with an epithalamian or wedding poem. Epithalamian means wedding poem, celebrating the marriage of Tennyson's sister Cecilia to Edmund Lussington. So after the death of author Henry Hallam, Tennyson's sister Cecilia got married with Edmund Lussington, and their marriage will lead to the birth of a child. And this childbirth also represents a new life after the death of Hallam. So after the marriage of his sister, the poet Tennyson presents a picture regarding the birth of a child, and the child represents new life after the death of author Henry Hallam. So we see hope and an optimistic attitude at the end of the poem. So this is your In Memoriam. Thank you so much.